Okay, it's recording. All right, what is your name?
Sonny Angel called, but Samuel Albert Angel II.
And where were you born, Dad? What year?
January 27, 1925, Johnson City, Tennessee, East Tennessee, about 30 miles from Virginia, and about the same from North Carolina.
And how was your childhood when you grew up?
Busy. I was born in Tennessee and we moved to, well, actually, my sister got double pneumonia and the doctor said, you got to take her to Florida or California or she'll die. So we sold our house and bought an old Buick convertible. It wasn't a convertible, it was a roadster. It had a back seat that folded forward, and it was a coupe, yeah. But anyway, we drove that from Tennessee to Florida, Jacksonville. And Dad was a chef, a cook, so he worked for a while there, and then he got a job with the United Fruit Company on a ship going from Jacksonville to New York and back down to Panama and up the west coast to Washington, and stopped along the way selling the bananas.
Mm-hmm.
It took about 3 months to make a trip. And then pretty soon he got had to have his appendix out, so they took him off the ship and put him in a hospital in Portland, Oregon. And so anyway, we decided to move to San Francisco, which we did. I was in San Francisco the night they opened the Golden Gate Bridge.
No kidding.
Lots of lights, lots of stuff. I was up on the roof. We lived in the Mission District on Church Street, 650 East Church Street, and we lived on the third floor, and it was 4 or 5 stories and a roof. Had a viewing area on the roof, and I was up there watching all the lights. And then what happened? Oh, we moved to Redwood City, and we was there for a while, and then we moved back to San Francisco. Then my dad and mom got in a hassle, so we left there. My mom and myself and my sister, and we bought a old used car and drove that to Nevada. And then it broke down in the desert up there. So we went to school in Tennessee and Florida and California, Nevada, Utah, Idaho, and Oregon. And when I was 2 months and 20 days past 15, I joined the Navy.
That's good, because that's the next question. That's good, because that's the next question.
Stayed 7 years, got out first class machinist mate, making $84 a month. And I came, my last 26 months in the Navy, I was overseas I was on tankers, and so we went to Australia, but we didn't get there. We got to Bora Bora in the French societies, and you could count the RPM on the forecastle. The engine was hammering, so we stopped and scraped the bearings. Took 3 days in Bora Bora, and then we went on to Brisbane, Australia, stayed there 10 or 12 days and scraped the bearings again. And then we went up through the went to Calais, and then we went to the intricate islands in New Guinea, and we went to Buna, Ley, and Finschhaven when they were still fighting on the shore. You could hear the bullet, gunfire. And then we went to Manus in the Admiralty Islands, and we were station tanker, and we had old squeaky pumps. We pumped more than 1 million barrels of fuel the first year of operation. We were station tanker there, and we stayed 1 year and 12 days there, and then we went to New Guinea to we went up to Mindanao and some other islands, and then we went to Manila, and we stayed in Manila Bay for 6 months. We refueled a Japanese destroyer. It was really weird when they went to push away, to push off, they had bamboo poles. They pushed the destroyer away from our tanker with them bamboo poles.
And that was that during World War II or after?
Well, it was just at the end of World War. It was slightly after World War II.
Yeah.
Because
You'd signed a peace treaty and
when we was in Manila, and anyway, we stayed there for a while. And then I got out of the Navy. I was due to return to the States, and I caught a ship to San Francisco. And the first day in San Francisco, I went looking for a motorcycle, and there were two, a 45 and a 61 Harley. And I bought the 61 Harley, and I had so much junk I wanted to carry. I went over to Hap Jones and bought a sidecar, and they put it on, and I hauled all my stuff down to San Diego because my folks had moved to El Cajon.
mm-hmm.
So I stayed a month here, and I thought, gee, this is nice here. I can ride my motorcycle all year long, so I'm going to stay here. And I did. And yeah.
Tell me how you came to like motorcycles. What was it the first time that you saw something that...
I was walking down the street when I was 12, and I saw a motorcycle. And I looked at it because I was interested in mechanical things, and I could figure it out for my bicycle. It had a front wheel and forks and an engine and a transmission and a rear wheel and a gear about that big around on the rear wheel, and a little bit of gear and a little drive box, and a cable ran up to the speedometer. And so that night, I was telling some old guy, we was living in a rooming house then in Provo, Utah. So I was telling this old guy about